recognized the roots of the generations before him, the history of their family. He bundled the clippings in a damp cloth, tucked them into a lidded wooden box, and entered the house. The room, lit only by the flickering flames of the fireplace, caused his family's shadows to jump and dart furtively along the walls. "I'm all set, Joe," he said. "All the vine cuttings are wrapped and loaded in the wagon. Have you packed everything we need?" As Josephine turned toward him, the orange-copper glow from the fire revealed only part of her face, leaving the rest in shadow. A tear tracked silently over the crest of her cheek. She didn't answer, just nodded. He studied her as Josephine took a slow look around, as if she were etching details of her home in her mind. Pulling her into him, he wrapped his arms around her, giving a long, reassuring hug. She had borne him a family of 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl. The oppressive weight of melancholy nearly crushed her years ago when Marie passed away as an infant. Josephine's emotional wound healed as she reconnected with her family once again. But the scar remained, along with a residue of sadness at the corners of her eyes. Josephine took a long, shuddering breath in his arms, as if she once again recalled the reality of her sacrifices, of the family she was leaving behind, and the only life she had known for 40 years, of her daughter, and the small grave she was abandoning to be left unattended, overgrown with weeds, and forgotten by generations that would follow. They stood embracing in the middle of the room. "Are you okay, Joe?" he whispered in her ear. "I'm fine," she said, pushing away from him. "We must do this for the children." Then, meeting his eyes, she repeated, "I'll be fine." They stood in silence until a loud rap on the door trespassed the moment. The door eased open, and the toothy smile of their neighbor poked in. "Just me, Joseph. Would have been here earlier, but roads are getting muddy." Joseph raised his hand in welcome. "Your timing is perfect. We were just loading the wagon." As his 3 oldest sons gathered their baggage, Joseph snuffed the flames in the fireplace with water and a poker. The house grew dark. A rectangle of early morning light seeped through the open front door, a light leading them away. He grabbed his wife's hand, and together they closed the door behind them for the last time. With an air of solemnity, the family piled into the wagon, slick from the morning mist. Their neighbor would accompany them as far as Belfort before returning with the horses and wagon to the Gentine homestead. Joseph sighed. The former Gentine homestead. They no longer owned the horses and wagon, and it was no longer his vineyard. All was sold. Everything. With the house slowly receding behind them, a lump rising in his throat, Joseph glanced at his wife and children huddled in blankets against the damp weather. His future, the future of his entire family, suddenly shrank to 12 pieces of baggage and approximately 300 vine cuttings bound in a ragged cloth. They were all he had now, but they were all he would ever need. He turned toward the road ahead, his back to the home he had always known. The wagon moaned as it rocked over the uneven road. Ahead, the 2 horses thumped along, snorting small vapor clouds into the cold morning air, their leather harnesses squeaking as they strained against the weight they pulled. Unseen by others, tears welled up and blurred his vision. He remained head-bent, facing forward. Joseph no longer wanted to see the sacrifice he was making. 1. Out of the Blue, 1933. 7 seconds. In the same amount of time it took 19-year-old Leonard Gentine to comb his hair as he prepared to leave the house, fate jolted his life, leaving behind a palpable air of uncertainty and unease. Much the same as any other Saturday morning, he had arranged to spend the day with Dolores Becker, a woman 5 years his senior, who lived with her parents in Milwaukee. Navigating over lightly traveled roads, his thoughts